What's up, guys? It's Jules. Time for another FlossTube interlude. I should have some kind of theme music, shouldn't I? That would be fun. I put a video up today, and I'm sure by now you guys might have seen this, but this is the first interlude video. The dog's gonna bark. This is the first interlude video that I'll have done since I did that list. So, anyway, I just want to let you guys know that I actually posted another... What's up, guys? What's up, guys? What's up, guys? It's Jules. It's time for another FlossTube interlude video where we talk about your comments and your questions. And I am being kind of quiet because I'm hoping that the dogs will not start barking here. It's No, they're not going to do it. They're not going to let me do it, are they? Should I feed them? I should feed them. Hold on, let me go feed them. Then we'll see what happens. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, that had to be done. It's like 3:30 here, and if it's a weekend, you got to feed the dogs before 4, or else they just start going crazy, and there's nothing you can do to stop them from being loud. So, I got Jelly being fed behind me. Bailey gets fed in the garage, Zuzu's being fed down in the basement, and everybody else is outside. Sometimes Doogie will eat down in the garage with Zuzu, but usually he gets confused as to what you want him to do, so he doesn't know where to go. So this time he went outside, so I fed him outside. No worries. Okay. Anyway, so I was talking about, or I wanted to talk about the videos that I've been doing about, the FlossTube channel. So that's the first thing I want to get into before, and I'll just hopefully incorporate a lot of questions and comments about that. This has been awesome. I have loved to do this. I have found so many FlossTube channels that I'd never heard of, many of them with a ton of subscribers, and many of them with very few subscribers because they're new or they've just been hard to find. So it's been a lot of fun to kind of go through and get those channels. And the first 100 I found on my own, and then after that I got a lot of comments and I got some emails, and then the last couple of days I got a couple really big emails that had a lot more people on it. So I spent a couple of hours today updating the list even further, and it's definitely over 300 now. So if you have not checked out this list of FlossTubers, it's on my blog. There's going to be some links all around here and whatnot to show you where to go. But I had a comment on the blog that said, you know, you should do something to differentiate when you add new people onto the blog. So if you've looked at the blog before and then you're coming back to it, that you can tell which ones you haven't seen before. I thought that was a great idea. So what I decided to do, make it easy on me, was just to put like exclamation points next to ones that are maybe less than a week old that I just recently put on. So like next weekend, if I have new people to add, I'll add them with exclamation points, take the exclamation points off the old folks. And then also for smaller channels that maybe have don't have as many subscribers, if they have less than 1,000 subscribers. If you hear that chomping, that's Jelly behind me eating. So, but if they have less than 1,000 subscribers, I put a little asterisk next to their channel. And I know it's not 100% accurate because I started doing the channels and I waited till I was probably halfway through the list before I started putting those asterisks on there. So if I need to add asterisks, I will. I'll try and go back and do that at some point. But for now, I've spent a lot of time working on the list and I'm a little tired. And like I said, I put together a little video this afternoon. Oh, and I'm so excited. I finally figured out how to do a video where I record my screen and I can do audio at the same time. So now that I know how to do that, I want to do more videos on other cross-stitch sites and you know, like where to find this, where to find that. Oh, stop moving, light. Where to do all that. And so so I was super excited about that. That was a big discovery today. Bailey or Zuzu, stop pounding on the doors. Husband is not here right now. Husband is down checking on the bees and hopefully getting some stuff going. And I'm going to have to get up in a second because everybody starts scratching at the doors because they're all excited about what is everybody else eating, even though everybody's eating the same thing. So let's see how many questions we can get done before I have to stop. Awesome. Oh, let's see. Wait, I went back too far in the comments and Yeah, we're talking about audiobooks. Yep. I've got a new stand here for the light, so I'm kind of having to look up and over the camera a little bit to see some things. But everybody has been so awesome. Nice, nice, nice. I think I talked about all these before. I think I'm still behind. I'm sorry I didn't do an interlude video last week. I was tired. I was just done. I was done with doing some stuff. I just needed to veg out, and I ended up downloading or resubscribing to World of Warcraft, and I've done a lot of that in the last week, and so that helped me kind of recharge my batteries a little bit, and so it's been good. Angela S. When I was doing the Stitch With Me the Dachshund piece, she asked me if it was nice to be stitching bright colors for a change, since I do so many dark ones. It is. It's always fun when I get to do really bright colors. It's a lot of fun. Like we've talked about before, I just really like stitching more period pieces that are usually not terribly colorful. But I do love the Dachshund and Old World Map 2 for that reason. The Chicago Bears project is very colorful as well. And then you've got Boba Fett with all its blues that are in there. So I'm going to go ahead and pause for a second here. Alrighty, so there's a little bit of shaking with this new camera with the way it's set up. So anytime I touch it, it wants to shake. So I'm sorry if it makes your eyes bounce up and down. Someone suggested that I listen, or that I read the Game of Thrones books first. That they're very good. My husband has said the same thing, but he said, "Well, you're gonna get, you can get the TV stuff done first. I mean, it'll be faster for you. So, and then you can go back and read the books." But I'm just not doing either one right now. I know that's like the big thing everybody's talking about, but I don't have time for that right now. I don't have time for those big books. So, ooh, PE Stitcher has two big old questions. One, how do I think the focus piece process I have is working for me? From the outside view, it looks like I'm making some serious progress. I think I answered this question in the last video, didn't I? If I haven't, can you hear the very loud? The very loud Zuzu is drinking back there. Sorry about the bright light that's right here. I opened up the door so the dogs are probably gonna see him running back and forth in the background. There's Zuzu. That's what she does. Bailey. Here, turn it a little bit more so you guys can see. I know you guys want to see the dogs more than me. Ah! Let me show you how messy the house is. Alright. That's a little better, and I can see a little better now. No, you know what? I did answer this question before, but I'll run through it again real quick. The focus piece of the week that I'm working on I am definitely making more progress on that one than anything else. It is something that I think was a great idea by whoever it was. One of you guys actually suggested it, so I think it was a great idea. This week it's Apothecary Shop, and we are making some serious progress on it. I just finished the Stitch With Me video this morning, and I definitely want to stitch some more on it as well. So, so that'll be good. Here we go. Yeah, this is from a while back. Nice. I should watch Stitching by the Lake. She's sweet. Renita says I should watch Stitching by the Lake. One of the videos that she has a small stand to hold her hoop that clamps to a table. I think eventually I'm going to end up using something like that. I'm just so set in my ways. I just like, grabbing a hoop and just working on a project. It's just something I like right now. The big problem is these guys. They're little nuts. They're all over me all the time. And you're going to get to watch Zuzu for a while. And Zuzu. Hey, Zuzu. And so, hey, monster. And so I think I will eventually. But right now, like, some of these dogs are all over me all the time. So I just can't do it per se. It's making that... I think it's my screen that's making that reflection on my face. Sorry about that, guys. Nice. Rebecca M. Nice. You're working on your first full coverage piece. The stitch count is 150 by 150. That's a big piece. That's a lot of stitches, obviously. And so I hope you're making some good progress on that, because it sounds awesome. Barbara says I should just pull out the rubber grips. Oh, nice. That's a really great idea. So on the magnifiers, which I don't have down here, when I was showing how it was pulling my hair out on the sides, it's the little rubber grips that do that. If I take them out, I won't lose my hair. And so, and hi from New Zealand. Thanks, Barbara. Hi back to New Zealand. I'm just Zuzu's. Zuzu. 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 Uh-oh. There they go. Somebody's barking. Children. Oh, okay. Shirley says, hey, Jules, just an FYI. Fargo. Ronnie Rowe's charts can be purchased on Etsy at the Cottage Needle. Several of his new charts are PDF and can be downloaded. Absolutely, and everything is actually on his site as well. It's RonnieRoweDesigns.com. He also has things up on Amazon as well. So I need to get over there and take a look at that. You guys are awesome. Hold on, I'm gonna pause. All right, so I had to read this long comment from Cynthia M, which thank you so much. I appreciate all your kind words. So you got your first large full coverage project. That is fantastic. I love that. Great. You know, I hope you're making some progress on it. I know it can seem pretty tough at first. I had somebody ask me a question on here, and I don't think that they watch my interlude videos because it was a video. It was a question from a video about like how do I set up the large cross stitch, the big projects and whatnot. And one of the questions that they asked was, how do you actually start? Ooh, the light changed. How do you actually start? Because I don't start in the middle. I don't start in the middle of any of my projects. I make sure that they're. Wow, what is going on with the light? It's just so weird looking. So let me just turn that off. Is that better? No, because you're still getting reflections here. I'll just sit like this. So the light looks better. I'm sorry guys. I'm like all scatterbrained because the dogs are everywhere. You know, all the more reason for why when you're getting your fabric that you make sure it's measured properly, and then it gives you enough border around the actual pattern so that you know where the pattern should start, and then you can kind of just go in your upper left hand corner, which is how I do it. Go the upper left hand corner and then just go 3 inches down, 3 inches in, and that's your rough starting spot. And then I just work my way across like a book, usually like book pages. So hold on, I'm going to just close those a little bit. Are you there? Okay, good, we're back. I only closed it a little bit. I don't think I helped a whole lot, but like Zuzu was laying in the middle of it, so I was like, I'll just stay over there, that's fine. Anna, you're so sweet. Talking about my forgetfulness. I do have a lot of forgetfulness. Oh, that's funny. Oh, nice. Fiber Talks after, okay, so Winnie National, like that. Listening to Fiber Talks aftermarket review, and they mentioned Ronnie Rowe's room. They also mentioned that apparently there's this lady in FlossTube who's been working on a lot of Ronnie Rowe designs. She's paraphrasing. Nice. Nice, that's funny. Oh, that's funny. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. I'm glad. You know, he's a really nice guy. He's reached out to me a couple times. And we've talked a little bit, so he's really super nice guy, and I want to get more of his stuff and continue working on it. So, man, YouTube like did a weird like redesign and all their stuff, so even the comments now look different. I'm trying to get used to looking at all these. It's weird. Weird. Nice. Isabel's Moments with Crafts. I love this. I've been stitching for less than a year, and I bring it to church, and I got someone who had not stitched in 20 years back into cross stitch. That is fantastic. Isn't that cool? Use Ada from Hobby Lobby, and I think it's fine. I do stitch along the edges to prevent fraying. Exactly. That's how I got started too. So that's awesome. I need to you need to renew your library card. Yeah, I know, right? Because you got to get a lot of good stuff from there. Okay, good. You weren't affected by the flood. Good. Oh, but some of your family, from your hometown, they were flooded. Oh man, that was from Nebraska, right? Oh, so bad in Nebraska. So bad. Okay, so Janet George. Seeing page lines on your stitched work is a real thing. There's a technique called feathering to avoid this, where you stitch some stitches from the next page so as not to end your stitching on a straight line. Also, if you use a floor stand, you need to be a two-handed stitcher. One hand brings the needle down. Yeah, one hand brings the needle down the fabric and stays on top of the work, and the other hand stays under to pull it through. The only people I know who use floor stands are two-handed stitchers, and I think it would be very hard to stitch to that. Just a friendly FYI. Absolutely. You know, honestly, I do two-hand stitching sometimes. If I'm using a hoop that's a little bit bigger, I have a way of kind of holding it on the end of the desk with my body, and then I use both hands to do it. But for me, that only works if I am doing a lot of stitching with one color. Otherwise, I just don't do it. But if you were doing a lot of Ronnie Rowe, that would be a great thing to do. So, but I appreciate that, Janet. Thank you very much. Boop-a-doo-ba-doo. Deborah Sue. Nice. Oh, cool. You ordered and received the hoops that I suggest down below in the link. They're so awesome. Nice and strong hoop. Love how it holds the fabric so well. You're a convert. Absolutely. I mean, I love those hoops. I mean, I'm a hoopster is what I am. Not a basketball hoopster, but I'm a hoopster. Well, that's cool. Shell, I'm going to get back to you on that. I don't want to necessarily say too much about that, but I will get back to you about that, Shell. Lisa R says, "Hi Jules, I don't know what the American version would be, but they are little white foam pads. You just add water and rub the stain away." Yeah, they're like the magic erasers, right? They're called in the UK wall erasers. No, I totally understand. I haven't tried those yet, but I have the little white magic erasers, and though I don't know where they are now, but they're around here somewhere. Nice. Okay, so Lisa says Game of Thrones. I too was the same. Couldn't get into it. Then took the plunge, persevered with it, and became addicted. Awesome. I'm sure. Like I said, I'm probably like in 4 years, I'll be like, this Game of Thrones is amazing. Has anybody else watched it? It's awesome. Oh, goodness. Nice. Pat loved the Captain Marvel movie. I loved it too. That's Coco. What? Coco, what? Mama Coco. She usually doesn't listen. Amy Loves Toads started your first Haid. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Good luck with that. You're on my list. You're one of the first on my list. Oh, that's so awesome. Peggy is one of our Ronnie Rowe converts. She never heard of Ronnie Rowe before I showed one of his designs. And so, yeah, that's so awesome. Nice. Sue I find that I can unwind the floss quite easily and quickly by just turning or twirling the needle in my fingers as I'm pulling it out from the back. Of course, I don't twirl too fast or too far or it will twist the other way. Yeah, I get that. Excuse me, I get there. I'm sitting here like pretending, blah, 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 and so. Blah, 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 blah. It's funny, you guys will comment on something I've said in a video, and I'm like, I don't even remember saying that. I really don't. Guys. Husband should be home soon, and when the husband comes home, it's going to get loud in here. Oh, he is home. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. So that was Zuzu playing with that little Kong Nerf football thing that has survived for months now. And for whatever reason, she decided that she was going to, here she comes, that she was just going to, that you were just going to play with it and squeak on it. And we couldn't talk for a while because that's what you were doing. Right, Zoo? No. All right. So anyway, my husband just got back home, and there's a bee update. So for those of you who are maybe new and don't know, my husband and I are beekeepers. really, he's the chief beekeeper. I'm assistant. I do what he says and I learn as I go. And so we were very excited because we have 4 hives that have made it through the winter and everybody's doing really well. But here's the thing. The folks that run the ranch where we have our bees here in Colorado, they are asking us to move our hives because they do this whole rotation of cattle and pigs and chickens and whatnot. They use them to sort of kind of methodically and scientifically renew the soil, renew the grass, renew the land. And so they've been doing it for a while in certain areas, but now they kind of want to do it in the place where we have our hives. So they asked us if we could move it to another location. So he went today down there to go talk to them about that, and they showed him a nice new place where we're going to move the hives. So I think this coming week, I'll probably do a little video on it, but we're going to have to get up at like 2:30 in the morning and go down there and basically wrap the hives up, get them in there's a thing called a hive mover, which is in a sense really just kind of like a dolly. I don't know what they call it in the UK, but it's just a little trolley thing that you can carry things better. And so because we've got to move, it's quite heavy, so each hive is quite heavy. Stop. So we've got to do that. Can you guys tell that Zuzu's like right here? There she is. So, anyway. Oh, now you... So, alright. She's not going to leave me alone now. So then, so we're going to have to go down there and move the hives, like, kind of before dawn. That way we don't run the risk of the bees being too upset because they're becoming more active and they're up and away. We don't want to lose any bees either because we're going to probably move them at least a quarter of a mile away. We don't want the bees, you know, to be out and about and then come back to where they think the hive is and the hive's not there. They're pretty much lost. I don't think that they would be able to find them in another location. So, you're ridiculous, you know that? You're ridiculous. And so, this is non-stop in this household, okay? It's non-stop. So anyway, so that's what we're doing on Friday, and then in a couple of weeks after that day, we're going to pick up 3 new hives, and we're going to soon have 7 hives of bees, and we're also going to hopefully plant some wildflowers around the same time, and we're hoping maybe we might have some honey earlier in the year than we did the last couple of years. So last year, this past year's honey crop was not good. It was pretty bad. We've learned a lot, and we're hoping that we can kind of move on from there. So, Cheryl McKinney from Tranquil Stitches. Cheryl, do we have you on the list? If we don't, I gotta get you on the list. Nice. You found me on a direct recommendation from Ronnie Rowe himself. That is pretty awesome. You were interviewing him for his video at the market, and he mentioned me. Such a sweetie, isn't he? He's such a nice guy. Sharon K says she needs to get Ronnie Rowe. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. You need to do it. Oh, man. These dogs are just... Alright, here. I gotta raise this back up. There we go. Let's get down to business here. Now that he's home, I gotta get this video done before he comes back down. Jane Murray wants to know if I have an iPhone. I do not. I have an Android phone. Put all the projects in this app and use a spin wheel to see what to work on. I'm sure they have one for that. Oh, you started a second page. Congrats. Great job. Great job. Julie Vickers. When I'm feeling stressed because I can't do my cross-stitched. I can't talk. I'm all like, everything's coming at me from all these different angles, so... oh, nice! My videos cheer you up. That is cool. I get you. You have MS, and sometimes you can't feel the needle in your hand, so you can't stitch. Ah, man, bummer, dude. I hope nobody gets upset by this. Well, if you do get upset, there's no reason to be upset for this, but I don't know if you've heard of using CBD for things like MS. It works really well with different autoimmune type diseases, and I've heard, based on just anecdotal evidence, that for some people it can really calm the symptoms down for a while. It might help you. You definitely want to get the stuff that's from hemp as purified as possible. Just do some research on Google and see what you think, but CBD is fantastic for so many things. I recommend it for my animal patients, and in a lot of cases it's really helped. So that's something that I would suggest. But I sure hope that that you can get to stitching a lot more soon here. So Luann B got Apothecary Shop. Oh man, you're gonna love it. Thank you, Lori, for the congrats on the finish, even though technically it's still not finished. It's sitting right here. I still got to do just that little bit right there. I was just trying to find the exact floss that I needed, but I'm all ready to go. Laura Tyler, my snow is melting and your water is drying up. Things are getting better. That is excellent. Ooh, you dyed some fabric. Nice. That is good. You have a great week as well. Oh, Anna's wanting to know what happened to the Saturday evening post piece. Did I finish it? No, I stopped it. That has been the only project that I've ever stopped that I can think of, that I got far enough along and then I just tossed it. When I got to the Pilgrim's Face, what it was supposed to look like, I was almost done with the Pilgrim's Face, and no matter how I looked at it, it looked terrible. And so it probably was a case, and I don't know for sure, but it was probably a case where it wasn't a great copy. It was probably just a copy of a copy, and therefore the details weren't as good. At least that's what I think, but it didn't look good, and I got frustrated, and I just said, you know, I'm not going to work on it, and it really disappointed me, but that's just what happened. False finish, Sharon K. Yep, false finish on E Pluribus. Yeah, I just got to get that done. Oh, Karen said the same thing. That's funny. So right after Anna asked about it, Karen asked about Saturday evening post project as well. That's funny. Weird. You guys are weird. No, I'm weird. You guys are fine. Fine. Annie V. I enabled you to kit up your first full coverage Haid. That is awesome. You're just missing some floss to start. Well, you can get that going. I bet you, that was 2 weeks ago. I bet you by now you got that going. That's awesome. Linda crazy for yarn. The birds do listen to me. It's so weird. It's, you know, they'll talk when I talk, and then I look at them, and they'll look at me, and we both just don't say anything. Nice. Karen, my bird expert. If Sailor's pudgy, you might want to make sure he's male. If you have a pair, then be on the lookout. So here's the thing. They have been together for 10 years now, and there have been no babies. So we're okay. We're okay. The previous owners had them for like 9 years before I got them. So they're both boys from that perspective. Yeah, I know I can DNA test them. That's really the only way to find out with birds. But I think that they get pudgy and they get skinny based on how much food they're eating and how well I've been feeding them. So I can hear them right now. They're upstairs. I don't know if you guys can. Oh, nice. Fig Jam Dog just found my channel. Sweet. How you doing? That's awesome. Rivendell Redhead asked, we were talking about music with the birds. I don't know how much music lovers they are, because I've tried different channels for them, or stations for them, and they don't really seem to bounce at all. They're so small, but there are times when they chirp more than others, so I don't know if there's a song on that they especially like. I haven't really run upstairs. What do you listen to? Because a lot of times when I come into the room, they'll stop. So, well, I guess I could just see what's on the radio, right? That would work. All right, I gotta look around, you guys. I'm sorry. Love to stitch too. How do I keep motivated to work on every piece? I have a piece, Treasure Hunt Bookshelf from Haid, right? And it's taken you a year to do page 1. You just look pathetic. Zuzu. You loved working on it then? Can't bring myself to do it. I did do 50 stitches in it last night, and I didn't enjoy them like I do working on my other 5 projects. How do I deal with that in your pieces? So, that's a hard one, because I do love all the pieces that I have, but you can kind of tell the ones that maybe I fall out of love with after a while, because I don't do them as often. And then something will happen and I'll start to get further along. I think I think with your bookshelf, I think the problem is that you're not far enough along yet to really, like, to really fall in love with it, because you're not seeing much probably right now. So I would almost say that for a large, massive project like that, that it's going to take you a long time to do anyway, what I would say is, Fargo is breathing very heavy underneath me. Fargo, do you want to come up here? You want to come up here? I think that if you sort of set a bit of time, you know, like, okay, so sometimes what you'll do is, what I would say is just set yourself a timer and say, okay, 30 minutes a week or whatever, or an hour a week, I'm going to stitch on this project. So you take that hour or whatever, and you're like, you stitch on that project, and you just do it. Just consider it a chore perspective, or chore, you know, chore. And just consider it that, and then see if after maybe a month or two of doing that, as you start to see more of it come out, do you then fall back in love with it? I think you will. I think that when you first saw it, you loved the big completed picture, but you're working on this tiny little area of it, so it's, you know, wonders of the world. Same thing with me. That's a big thing right now. I don't love it very much because I'm not seeing anything in it yet, because I haven't worked on it very much yet. So I need to force myself to literally just try and do some every day so that I can actually see it. Same problem happened with Apothecary Shop. You know, the first page is, for those of you who are doing Apothecary Shop, you may know this, but that first page looks, a lot of it is just like the roof tile. It doesn't look like anything. And it can just get a little discouraging. So I think for you, I think set aside time every week, do so many stitches or so much time on it, and do that for a while and just see how you feel about it. That would probably be the best way. Yes, it's going to take forever, but so what? That's fun. Oh, nice. Pam Nestler, working on Ancestry. Yeah, that is definitely, I used to do that. Ancestry.com, looking up your ancestry. That's another one of those, like, fall in a tunnel and never come out kind of hobbies. Researching family history and going way back when, and that was pretty interesting. I did my grandmother's, my mom's mom, and she didn't know where she came from because her mother passed when she was very young, and there wasn't a lot of family stuff that was passed down that I know of, but it was funny because I was able to trace back her history, and there were so many amazing stories from within her family history, and so many like early American settlers, like I couldn't even tell you like how many came from, like, in the 1600s came across from England, and then yeah, it was so fascinating. So I understand that is a rabbit hole. Someday I want to get back into it, but that's a hobby that I literally, like, I can work on it from like 6 in the morning to 6 at night and forget to eat. That's how obsessed I get about that stuff. So good luck with that. That's a lot of fun. My read star, my excitement for stitching is contagious. I like it. I'm patient zero of cross stitching. Luann, I was doing Ronnie Rowe, and you were asking me what count fabric am I working on. 18 count fabric. 18 count on a Ronnie Rowe. Always 18 count on a Ronnie Rowe. For me, that's just how I like it. Because I've already done like 2 projects that are framed and hanging up on the stitchy wall at 18 count. I don't want to change the count of my fabric because then it'll look different. I don't want it to look different. I want it to look different. Nice. Okay, I gotta roll down some more stuff. I'm still 2 weeks ago. Give the kids a squeeze for Wild Rose. Thanks, Wild Rose. Yeah, I'm not sure how well this is going to work in the future. I'm going to have to adjust this thing because I'm like, where's my question? I think Sailor would sit on your shoulder if he was out. Jackie, I don't think Sailor would sit on my shoulder. When he talks to me, doesn't he look like a little alien trying to make you understand? I don't know for sure. I think I need to sit up there and talk to them a lot more, but first of all, they've rarely, if ever, been handled. So I don't think he would actually sit on my shoulder. I do desperately want a bird to sit on my shoulder one day. I really do. I want to get a bird and have it live with me and have it be a bigger one that can talk. I think that would be fantastic. I don't think he would. I think he's a little too freaky. I don't think he would be very excited. Nice. Oh, okay. Is Debbie S. Is Jenna the one who did the honeybee portrait? I think I remember. I think that's her name. You met her at HateCon. That is awesome. Oh, you're purchasing all 3 row house patterns by Ronnie Rowe. You blame me. I'll take that blame. I'll take that blame. That is awesome. NP. There's an app called X-Stitch that you can put your charts and threads on. That also allows you to make notes on what fabric and threads you're using. Nice. That way you can check your app for what you're using your threads. It'll also make a shopping list plus a fabric calculator. Wow, that's pretty awesome. Yeah. So, and then the other thing he says, you notice that there are Harry Dresden videos on YouTube. Think they are Audible files, and I think they are free. So they are audiobooks, and they are free, but they're not complete. My husband actually does this. He listens to them on YouTube, and I think the first like 8, 9, 10, or no, not that many, 7 or 8 maybe on there intact. And then after that, like, they start getting broken up. Like, people don't upload them in all one file. I think their book publishers are cracking down on that, because it's not like it's the company itself putting up the audiobooks. Literally, somebody's just recording it. I gotta stretch my feet out. Somebody's just recording it and putting it up on YouTube, which technically is a copyright violation. So so yeah, they're getting taken down. I looked, but they didn't have it, and so bummer. Dresden files are awesome. Susan H. I love the honeybee project and thought it was fairly small, but no, it is bigger than it first appears. Of course, it must look small to me. The lock in the bee's body and the keys around the edge of the design are intriguing, aren't they? It's just there's so many layers to this. When you're looking at it, there's so many layers to the honeybee portrait. It's just really, really cool. Florence F. A helpful tip. I use one of those magnet boards, Joann's, for my patterns. It comes with a few strips of magnets. I put one of the longer ones under the row I'm on the pattern and use one of the shorter ones vertically by the stitch I'm working on and move it along as I go, then highlight when I'm done doing the stitches in that row. That way, if the phone rings or I get rudely interrupted, I always know where I was. Very easy and a lifesaver. Absolutely the best. That sounds, oh no, absolutely love the bee. That would be awesome. My problem stems from when I get interrupted, it's usually because somebody's jumped on me, or I gotta move, or I gotta do something. I always blame the dogs, because the dogs are always blameworthy. And, can you guys see Jelly right there? Doesn't she look sweet? I don't know if she's feeling really good. She's been a little off, like, today. Well, I don't know. She's seemed a little off. We'll see. I'm gonna keep an eye on her. Isabel's Moments with Crafts. I did not say crafts. I did not. I said crafts. You heard wrong. Isabel's Moments with Crafts. Isabel. Okay, hold on a second. I'm working on my Haid, and I'm close to my 7-page finish on your project. Wow. Just to let you know, my mom's doing well. The roads have opened, so I can go back to work and whatnot. Sweet. That's awesome. Nice. Jocelyn's puppy was really interested in listening to the birds. Colleen asks me, honeybee portrait, what count Ada am I using on that? I don't know. I think 16. I think 16. I'm pretty sure it's 16 on that one. I decided to do that one a little bit differently. Ariana. Hey, Ariana, not Ariana. Ariana, I found the color key, so you don't have to worry. I'm good. I think I told you that in another video, but I do have the color key. FlossTuber Canadian Stitcher. Is this your only Haid? No, technically the other Haid I have is the one that's like the Doctor Who one, Space Traveler. I have that one. I think I have one more. I can't remember right now. But I have another one. Yeah, I have Space Traveler. Southernmost Stitcher, did I go back to using a pencil for gridding? Also, did you make sure it would come out of the fabric? So, I did that on the honeybee portrait, didn't I? Did I go back to using the pencil? I'm kind of getting away from the pencil for gridding, except for maybe like the tiniest of projects, the tiniest of fabric, just because I keep getting so many questions about it, and as far as safety and how well it works, and also it's like, I also feel like when people see me do it, they maybe don't listen to everything I'm saying about it as far as when not to use it, how it will potentially show up. And I don't want to do something that may end up causing someone to ruin one of their projects. So I'm trying to stay away from that and go back to the pen, although I do just like the pencil. The pencil is cute and it's awesome, but yeah, I'm trying to use the pen more. Did I check to see if it would come out of the fabric? Yeah, I used an eraser, and then somebody down below was asking about the magic eraser. I haven't tried the magic eraser. I don't have one of those just yet, but I should actually try it. Nice. Michelle Collins telling me about the thing in my thumb that wouldn't heal. It's finally healing. I don't know if you can see it. It finally healed. I don't know why. I don't know why it heals and then comes apart. It probably, honestly, I bet you it just depends on what I'm doing at work. I moisturize all the time, and then it just splits, and then when it splits, it stays split because I constantly am hitting it on things, because I'm a dope. I'm a dope. I'm not a dope. I'm just, you know. Kathy B. I like hearing the birds. It reminds me of my home. Today I had to cover up my cockatiels today, so my mom and I could watch a series on Netflix. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much what happens. That's why I can't do videos as much upstairs now, because they've gotten louder. Linda Crazy for Yarn, thank you for saying that the honeybee portrait was beautiful. Lynn enjoyed stitching along. Thank you so much. Gabriella, okay, just got your first cross-stitch collectibles pattern, and it's a little overwhelming because it's 60 pages. For someone who's never done a full coverage project before, how do you recommend going about this? Also, do you highlight on your original pattern? So, yes, I highlight on my original pattern. So, the pages that I use, I highlight on them. I don't make copies per se, and I haven't had issues with that. The thing about how do I get started, I talked about that earlier, as far as if you measure fabric correctly and go 3 inches down, 3 inches across, that you do pretty well. Hi, sweetie. And so that's kind of, that's really how you do it. Now, I mean, I hope that answers your question kind of the way I described it before. You just gotta go one stitch at a time. You'll be okay. Use a binder to basically put all your stuff together, or just put something in a folder or a plastic sleeved. You can use like a regular folder, or do I have one of my plastic sleeve pages? Oh yeah, well, the one that had the color issue. Where did that thing run off to? It ran off somewhere. Oh, here it is. Well, like one of these. This is for Rainy Waterloo Place. Look how like old this looks. But put all your pages in something like this to protect them, and that way they all stay in one spot, and you won't lose them. And that's what I try to do. But if you have more questions, just ask me, okay? You'll be fine. Just one stitch at a time, one 10 by 10 grid at a time. You'll be okay. You'll be okay. Boom, 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 boom. Do I still stitch with the LED? Robin and C. Do I still stitch with the LED magnifying glasses? How do I like them? I still do from time to time. It's yeah, I gotta take those little rubber things out of them so that they stop pulling my hair out, so I don't go bald like on the side here. But they're great. I really do. Actually, I've started using them a little bit more. Even with the magnifying, like the regular glasses I have, I still like using those magnifiers because they do just such a great time. Janet, I'm sorry that the birds are annoying, and so I try not to always have them in the videos, but I know sometimes you can't hear me. Oh, I try to keep them quiet if I can, but it's so many people say yes to the birds, and then a few people say no to the birds, and it's just, I do what I can. I'll blame the birds. I'll blame myself. Wait, I had a thing I was going to say here. Oh yeah, okay. Kate Sims, please check out an ink circles chart called Dog's Declaration. Bailey needs me to stitch it for her. She does. Where is she? She's around here somewhere. Alright, honey. I'm going to keep you off camera if you want to sit down. You're off camera. No, he's not. Yes, that was Brad Pitt that just walked by. Let's see here. Where was I? Okay, so I'll have to look at that. Let me write that down. Ink circles. Dog's Declaration. Okay. All right, got it. Every little cross stitch has a parrot on her shoulder in her latest video. That's awesome. Thanks, Angela. All right. Now we're only a week away. Did I talk to the eye doctor about my readers? What do they say? I'm toying with talking to mine about the loops with your rather small prescription. So I didn't talk to her about that when I went in. Basically, the new readers that I got work better than the other ones do, but they said that my eyesight didn't look like it had changed. And I'm a believer in the fact that it just depends on the time of day that you go in and get your eyes checked, because I think that earlier in the day, I think we went like midday or so. If it had been like at nighttime, I think it would have. And I do most of my stitching late in the day, so if it had been late in the day when I had my eyes checked, it probably would have been slightly different. So no worries. I'd say just use whatever works for you. That's all you need to do. Anna. Oh, you're sweet, Anna. That is nice. Country Hicks Phelps. You can stitch at work? That would be awesome. You're from Tennessee. We're in Tennessee. Tell me where you are. Tell me where you are. Because I'm from the South, so. The Stitcher Twin. Hey, Stitcher Twin, I just added you to the list, too. So, that's awesome. Guys, go check out this Stitcher Twin. She's adorable. Mrs. Hercules. Hey, I think you're a first-time commenter here. A few days ago, I watched a FlossTuber that recommended Bowen Mechanical Extra Fine Chalk Pencil. I found it in Amazon. It came with 3 colors, chalk white, dark pink, and pencil lead. I bought and got it this week, which had to test on it right away. I tested it on a dark blue Ada on a whip, and I love it so far. Here's the link. Okay, I'll have to check that out, and if it works, that would be amazing. That would be amazing. Nice. Nice, okay. So, Leah Revenga. Am I saying your name right? I want to say Revenga. It's nice. Very cool. You really like Blitz Stitch is one of your favorite. Blitz Stitch is on my list. One of your favorite stitchers. Blitz Stitch has been doing this for a while, so that's good. Nice, Jackie F. I have 6 whips, and I tell my husband that this is normal. Jules has double that, and I'm the expert. I'm not the expert, but that's funny. Yeah, I mean 6 is nothing. 6 is nothing. You need another 10. It's all good. Oh, nice. Alice, is it Allison? Allison P. Oh, you're from Sussex. Nice, in England. My friend from I didn't even tell you guys. I told you guys about this in the Stitch With Me, but my old college roommate is in town, and she's is Oxford a town? Is Oxford a town? I don't know. I mean, she works at at the university, and so she works there, and she's been there for quite a while, but she's in town, so I got to hear all my English gossip from the UK and whatnot. So from Sussex, that is awesome. You're currently working on Cloud's Factory's Doctor Who villains. Oh, your 10-year-old son who is Doctor Who mad. That's nice. Do I think I'll get to make a start on my Doctor Who piece this year? That's the Haid that we were just talking about. Gosh, I hope so. I have the fabric now, and it'd be really dark, which, I mean, we know dark, but I mean, it'd be like black, which I have a lot of. So I hope so. I really do hope so, because I do want to do it. I think it's, I can't wait. I've had it for a long time. Alessandra, I did see someone who did a full coverage piece and the lines did show up underneath the stitches. It was a face and the color of the floss was really light. Yeah, yeah, okay, so I can understand that. So, definitely if you're using a dark pencil, which doesn't rub out very well, you would see it underneath. I don't know if there's a solution for that. I wonder if she could do something to the back of her fabric. You know, like turn the fabric around and... What if she put like a dark matting behind it? Would that still show up? So I'm wondering if she put like use this, put the light thing over it, and would it still show up with the pencil markings? I don't know. That's bad. That's sad. And another reason why I'm probably like I probably won't talk about the pencil just because I don't want anybody to make that mistake and have that problem. So that's the last thing I want. That's like the antithesis of my channel. Southernmost Stitcher found a product to help her with gridding, so I will have to come back and take a look at that. Nice. Nice. Susan A. Yes, I am weird. What? You can go open the door? Yeah. Okay. My husband does not want to... Okay. You're good. You're good, Brad Pitt. You're good. He's so shy. She says, Reaper is finally looking like something. Yes, it is. Oh, you live in the mountains and you got a greenhouse last year. I gotta come over here. You live in the mountains and got a greenhouse. We would love to do that. Oh, and your plants were stagnant, not doing anything till the bees found you. Nice. That is awesome. That is so cool. Karen B. I made a tiny cross stitch on a 2-inch by 2-inch patch of Ada to hold my needles and put it in with my floss so you don't lose them. Wow, that's pretty sweet. That's a really nice suggestion. Tara Lee Crafts. Thursdays are my breakfast with Jules days. That's awesome. Tara Lee, you're in my list, right? I'm gonna leave you guys right here. The reason why I always post early on Thursday morning is because my father-in-law gets up super early and he knows that the videos are coming out on Thursday morning. So I always try and schedule them at a certain time because he always likes to try and be one of the first to watch them. So, Chuck, if you're watching, hi. And, anyway, it's adorable, but I'm glad you guys like that. But I try and keep on schedule, at least with the weekly updates. I can do that. With everything else, I'm like kind of all over the place. Yeah, Debbie B. Using pencil on the bees could be bad news with the light colored threads. I agree. I think that I'll have to go back to the pen. Yep. Nice. And we were talking again about tapestry needles versus the stitching needles that I use. I've looked at tapestry needles. Yeah, I think sometimes I get them because I do try to... I look purposely for things with really large eyes. So, but yeah, I definitely... I've looked at those before. Other people have recommended that before, and I've looked at it. So, anyway. Well, we're getting into the last week because we're talking about April Fool's jokes and how I really don't like them. I don't like them. I don't like it when people lie. I just don't. Even if it's a joke. It's not cool. Laura T. We're off to another hockey game. The first of our last 3 games purchased for the season. Have a great weekend. Back to cross stitching. It's playoff time. Can't believe my Blues have done so well at the end. And they're playing the first playoff game on Wednesday. And I'm gonna start watching hockey like a maniac starting on Wednesday. So there's gonna be a lot of that. So hopefully there's gonna be a lot of stitching. Nice. Linda B. Linda with a Y. You love the B piece. You're stitching on a midi Hade. Which midi Hade are you working on? I'm always interested in find out what people are working on. Allison Stitches. Allison Stitches is asking me about tapestry needles. They have a bigger eye. Yeah, I think that I'm gonna have to just purposely look for those. And very cool. Maybe I already use them and I just don't realize it. That's quite possible. I'll look into that, guys, and I'll let you know. Chanel needles. If I prefer a sharp point to a blunt point, use a Chanel needle in a size 24 or 26. Nice. And then Moonbow Eve gave me a link to the John James Needle Guide. Thank you, guys. I like how specific you are too, like telling me the exact thing that I need, because I need specific recommendations. Susan Jones. Nice. Thank you for watching FlossTube. Thank you for commenting. Your son is also a big Doctor Who fan. Where did I get the Doctor Who that's on the board? So that is the Ada, and it's no longer available. And I can only assume, like I said, I want to, you know, that it basically was one of those things where there was maybe a copyright or something like that. But it was on the Haid way back when, years ago, when I was sort of accumulating projects left and right and wasn't doing much of anything else. I mean, I was only stitching on one, and I bought it way back when. And then when I was going through all my stuff and organizing this past year, I found everything of the project except for the color guide and the first page, because I must have separated those, put those in a little place somewhere, and I've yet to find them, although I'm sure I will find them at some point. And then thankfully somebody who watches reached out to me and offered me those couple pages, which I do appreciate, because others weren't able, and I understand, I totally understand why. And so because of the you know, we don't want to share copyrighted things, and I'm a big believer in that, absolutely. But you know, like I had bought it, I had the whole thing except for, you know, a couple pages. So so I was able to start on, well, and I haven't started on it. I've bought fabric, but I haven't started on it yet. So Tammy Neal, I use Anchor Black because of the coverage. Does anybody know if Anchor White would give better coverage than DMC White? Any recommendation on needle size for a 28 count fabric? Okay, I'm gonna have to ask you guys this because I don't know needle sizes, as we know. And I also I've heard, I mean, you guys have told me before that Anchor covers better than DMC. So what do you think? What do you think? Does it cover better? Just make a comment on this video, and then that way Tammy can see, and we'll go from there. Nice. Linda Crazy for Yarn is moving. Not sure if you will have the internet. You will have the internet. Oh, yes, you will. Jocelyn, you're stitching on a Yoda piece that I have done. Oh, is it the one that has the words on it about do or do not, there is no try? That was fun. And you got a new puppy. What kind of puppy did you get? Sheila. Sheila liked my Thriller dance I did in one of my updates. Did you see it? Okay. Oh, brother. Okay. All right, now we're getting into all the comments for people talking about the FlossTube channels. Okay, I just liked my own comment. That's sad. Yeah, why shouldn't I like my own comment? Alright, so we're going to get through this part pretty fast, because I've already responded individually to so many people. Oh, the whole newbies joke that I told the other day? The husband made it the other day too. He said, you said newbies, and then you went, he's talking about newbies. Newbies. And, and I was right there when he said it, and I was like, you didn't watch my video, did you? Because I said same thing just a couple of days earlier. We're like the same person, just slightly different. He looks more like Brad Pitt than I do. Oh, you're so cute. I liked another one of my comments. I'm liking a lot of my comments now. Yeah, you're so right. Okay. Oh, wow, this is a hard name to say. Agnieszka. Agnieszka? 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 Hi. Where are you from? Where are you from? So yeah, so great that the eraser worked. So I did that little experiment on the FlossTube where I gridded and then I erased it. It's like, oh, it works so much better, blah, blah, blah. And then she makes very good point. Remember that first you will stitch over it and then you won't be able to erase it. It would make no sense to draw the grid and then erase it before getting to stitch around it. Agreed. I think I was thinking more about if it wasn't full coverage and you just erased between the stitches. But yeah, again, I just gotta get away from the pencil because I think it's just a bad precedent. It's a bad example for others. So, and you guys just suggested so many different people. The Rockin' Stitcher, your subscriber numbers are growing. Nice. Yeah, guys, check out the list. There's so many different stitchers out there. It's just there's just so many out there. There's so many people that jumped in and started doing this. It's actually amazing. All right, now I'm really chugging through all this because I've already looked at all these comments. Nice. Jane of All Threads was saying when I started doing my FlossTube, I used to hum melodies in between the talking. That was long before I got the budgies. Now I Twitter instead. Instead of me teaching the birds to talk, they're teaching me to Twitter. That's very possible. Oh. Okay, hold on a second. Oh, okay, back here. Yeah, Dishes and Stitches talks about getting floss from 123 Stitch. Yeah, I love ordering Stitch online, or Stitch. I love ordering floss online. It's so much easier to kind of organize it and keep it going. And honestly, it saves me time because I kind of meander in stores sometimes. Sometimes I go straight in and get my stuff, and other times I just don't like stopping in stores. I just don't like it. I always tend to run into people everywhere I go around here. So, well, of course I would run into people everywhere I go. But what I mean to say is that I run into people that I know everywhere I go. And so it slows me down, and I got too much to do. Too much to do. Sharon K., I've read this message far too late because you said, am I going to participate in the 24 hours of cross stitch next weekend, the 4th and the 5th? It's now the 7th, and I just heard about this because you told me about it. Whoops. I did not participate. I was doing other things. I think I was playing WoW and working on the website. So I missed it. I missed it. Missed it totally. Yeah. All right. Nice, nice. Thank you, Long Dog Stitcher, for subscribing to so many channels that had less than 1,000 subscribers. That is awesome. All right, all right. Ah, Lori Reader says, Douglas Adams reading his own books is the best way to fall asleep. I'm also enjoying the Sleep With Me podcast. Oh, we're going to have to add those to our list, huh? Yeah, we've had Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. We have. The problem is it's only about 6 hours long. And so if I wake up at like 4 in the morning or something, like there's nothing going on and I need to actually... I need to start something new at that time. Ah, Rara's Realm. Okay, cool. That is a FlossTube channel that I have not added. So let me just... Rara's Realm. So I'll do that once I'm done with this video. That is awesome. Jasmine. You're welcome, Jasmine. I'm starting to burn my lips. I have this nervous habit. Cool. Thanks, Wendy Stitchin. You're in Arizona. I prefer to be in Colorado versus Arizona. Unless you're like more up in the mountains. I like my cooler weather. So there's another Janet. I don't know if this is the same one. The birds are annoying, gonna quit watching videos. I always love people that announce that they're gonna stop watching you by commenting. Okay. That's okay. I appreciate Caddy Sue Cats and Anne for um, not for commenting and saying just move on. You're fine. You don't have to say you're not gonna watch. I just love it. I love it. You guys are awesome. And I don't care. I mean, I don't, the birds are the birds, and I understand. I'm sure there's quite a few people that can't handle the birds singing. Years ago, I probably couldn't have, but they are what they are, and a lot of people like them, and it is what it is. Ba, 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 ba. Oh yeah, Erica. I actually responded to her already because I saw this when I was doing some other things. She's surprised I've never gotten a Lowry stand for my cross stitching with all of my back and neck issues. She has back and neck issues as well, and it's helped her a lot. And she stitches faster. She got hers on Amazon. Yeah, I know that. It still comes down to the dogs. I think I stitch downstairs so much, and that's really almost entirely where I stitch, unless I put it upstairs in the bedroom. But then I would only stitch in the summertime when I have the air conditioner up there. But if I have it down here, the dogs are going to destroy it. There's no question in my mind about that, and it's too expensive for me to destroy it. Even if it's, oh, she said it's all metal, so I wouldn't think they could do too much damage. You do not know my dogs. My husband's laughing. You do not know what the dogs are capable of. They are capable of a lot. Nice. That's too funny. Oh yeah, Ann P was saying, I was coming home from work one day and a fire truck came up behind me. I pulled over, and then after it passed, I got behind it. It turned where I was going to, and I thought, I hope it's not going to my house. And it kept going, and it was the next door neighbor's house. Got hit by lightning. Yeah, that's a scary thing when you're like driving home and you see like smoke in the direction of your house. But everything was pretty good. Jerry Haney. Do I worry, or do I frog stitches that are misplaced, or do I try and stay true to the pattern? As much as I can. If I'm working on a Ronnie Rowe, I really try hard to be perfect. I know there are mistakes that I just don't catch, but the thing is that with say like Wonders of the World or with Old World Map 2, I will admit I have at times done something wrong, and if I hold it back and I look at it and I'm like, well, I can't tell, then I don't worry about it, because if I worried about every little stitch that I did wrong, that's the nice thing about full coverage pieces, is that, as long as you're not putting a big red stitch where a white one should go, you're probably okay. But I really try hard to stay true. I try as hard as I can. Margine Boyd. I love listening to the birds. Sometimes I think they totally understand you and are replying to your questions. I think they're trying to. Please show us some video of them occasionally. Did you know that I had the pet channel that has easy Doogie, easy. That has it's the This House is a Zoo. It's downstairs. It's downstairs in the description. It's underneath the video in the description. And I have one whole video of like a whole 25 minutes or something like that of just them chittering and chattering and moving all over the place. All right, and then you have some questions. Heard on several FlossTube sites, Anchor Black is better coverage than DMC. Yes, we talked about this before. Yes, it is thicker and is fluffier. Yes. Have I found this to be true? Guys. Doogie. It's funny how you can, 7 dogs, you can tell each one by their bark. I'm not switching to Anchor at this point, for like even like a Ronnie Rowe. And it's not, well, I always use DMC. If I got Anchor instead of DMC, then you guys know me, I'd lose it. And then I'd have to go find some more. And so now I just do DMC. Will it fill in fluffier? Sure. Will it make a difference when you're looking at it from 5 or 10 feet away? Maybe. But I just always use DMC. That's just how I do it. I love the Ronnie Rowe project and plan to do it myself. What are there single stitches all over in the sky area? Are they necessary? How do you stitch them? Tie each one off by hand or carrier thread? Ronnie Rowe is under here. Oh. You guys know how much of a neat freak I am, right? Oh, wait, that's not Ronnie Rowe. Oh, I thought it was Ronnie Rowe because it has the same stitchy thing. Okay, so, but I'll show you like I do here, the back of the Honeybee Portrait. So even when I have stitches that go way out and about, I just loop them back over. So yes, they are necessary. They add to the entire design. Theoretically, you could go without them, but they're in the design. I'd love to put them in there because that's what that's what's intended. So what I typically will end up doing is I'll just stretch it from one little area way over to another. You could basically tie it off by itself, but that's, you know, I have some of my Ronnie Rows I have where they're like stretched way across, and it doesn't show up through the fabric for me. You know, they're matted, and it's a dark matte behind it, and so it doesn't show any of that. So I think, does that answer your question? I hope that answers your question. Do I carry my thread? Yes, that's what we're talking about. I think it would, carried threads would show through the white cloth. Do I use a pin stitch in each one? No. I'm not fancy like that. I don't. I just carry it, and so I just let it go back and forth. And in some of my earlier Ronnie Rows, that's kind of what happens. You know, maybe at the end of this, you know what I should do at the end of this is go show you the stitchy wall and show you the Ronnie Row, and we'll both look and see if we can see it. Because then if I can see it, then I'll never stop seeing it. That's okay. We'll take a look. We'll take a look at the end here. Two people have given me the words to buckle my shoe. Thanks, guys. Oh, man. Tina Stitches is asking about the birds being on the dog videos. Yes, the House is a Zoo is actually everybody's channel. All the non-bipedal people in the bipedal creatures in the house have their own channel. Southernmost Stitchers. Sorry, I was singing that song. All right. Oh, guys, we're getting close. We're under a week now. This is long. I knew this would be a long video. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Hey, Link is my homeboy, who I added today on my list. All right. I added you on my list today. I just now saw your comment here, so it looks like I've got some more. I've got at least 3 or 4 on your list to put on. All right. I will get to that. I will get to that. Love to stitch 2. I'm going to love working on the actual bee part of the Honeybee Portrait because you got the no background version started in the middle. The bee is confetti heavy. Oof, but a joy to stitch. Nice. That's awesome. Could you send me a picture of that? I would love to see a picture. It's going to be quite a while before I get to see mine stitched like that. So I would love to see a picture. Thanks, Obs. Thanks for the comment. Thanks for the compliment, I should say. Kim Biddle, finally catching up. Narrator on audiobooks can make or break the book, and Jim Dale, hands down, is the best. Jim Dale is fantastic. The problem is that I can't listen to him without imagining his voice doing Harry Potter. Because he's the one who did, for you guys don't know, Jim Dale did all the Harry Potter books, and he's got hundreds of voices that he does, and he's truly amazing. There are a few other readers that I love, and I could not tell you their names offhand, but like the guy that does The Martian, we absolutely love. We think he's great. The guy that does The Name of the Wind. I'm going to do, you know what, I need to do a blog post and just put out there like my favorite books to listen to while I stitch, or what I listen to while I stitch. I need to do that. And the Reaper's missing from the... Reaper's always missing from the board. Reaper came off the board again today during the stitch with me, but he's going back on. Nice. Lori Cole, when I'm not filming, what kind of chair do I use when I stitch for your back and neck support? I'll be honest, I'm sitting in my office chair right now. Well, it's not really an office chair, but it's desk chair. And that's what I stitch in most of the time. I've got a lazy boy back here that I would love to stitch in more often, but the dogs don't let me do it. And they're going to have to start letting me do it because we got playoffs coming and I want to watch them on TV, so I'm going to be in the chair. So I might have to somehow create some sort of a barrier between me and the animals so they stay away. I mean, literally, I'm going to have to do that. But that's what I normally just like a big old lazy boy so that I can kind of scrunch back a little bit and stitch. But most of the time now, I've been sitting up and stitching in this chair. And at first, it was hard on my neck and my back, but I've been trying to strengthen them a little bit, and things have definitely gotten better in that regard. So, oh, we're getting close. Tina Frazier. You've recently gotten into the house fire videos on YouTube. Honey, we've got something else to watch. House fire videos. Bless you for that non-sneeze. It's lit like earwax removals. You can't stop watching. Yeah. Oh, it's sad and devastating. Ooh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, man. Oh, I like this comment. Tina also says, a relative in Arkansas was a worm farmer. It was crazy walking into their worm builder and seeing beds and beds for days. Yeah. So, Brad Pitt over here. Brad Pitt to me, honey. He's turning all red. When we first met, and he had this huge garden in his, on the patio of his apartment. And it was just filled with all kinds of stuff. And after we were together for, I think, so many months or whatnot, he decided he wanted to actually have his own worms to get his own composted soil to make it better. And he did that for a year. And he had these big, huge tubs filled with worms and everything. And I kind of wish we had them now, because totally it could be what we feed Groot with, the axolotl. It would be just, we can go over and grab something and feed Groot with it. I would say that I wouldn't be surprised if he got back into it again at some point. But again, it all comes down to keeping the dogs away. Because one time I left out, I've got these little little things that you get at Walmart filled with worms. So like they come with like 30 worms for like just regular fisher people. And so I've graduated from the red worms up to the night crawlers. And so they come in a tin basically with soil and whatnot. And one day I forgot and I left it out overnight. And then in the morning, the dogs, Zuzu, found it and scattered it to the four winds of the house. So I'm thinking they ate the worms, but I don't really know for sure what happened to them. So, but that I have to work on. So, I hope Kim B, who asked the question about how to start large cross-stitch projects, I just got to the point where, all right, somebody gave me a thumbs up, so I'm hoping that she saw that. But I commented and gave her some direction on how to start her videos, how to start her, her big project that she has. So, all right. Stitchy Cat has been following me for a while, but never commented. Wow. You pushed through 600 stitches of frogging? You frog 600 stitches? I bet that was a little painful. But you gotta do what you gotta do, right? Gotta do what you gotta do, get it done and get it going. Get it done, make some progress. Oh yeah, so I definitely think that I should get a sign behind me that says, like, numbers of days since I bought a cross-stitch project, and just keep adding numbers to it and tear it off and have it be 0 when the day comes. We actually got a map, and we also got some backing for said map, and I think we're going to get, hopefully, that map up soon. He's nodding his head, yes. And it's like a metallic art map, and it's a map of the world. And so what I want to do with you guys is basically, like, I think you just scratch it off, like a scratch-off ticket or something, but you just scratch off the countries where, I'd scratch them off basically where you guys are all from, and that way we can kind of see, who's watching and where everybody is watching from. But the people that come on the blog, I'm able to kind of see where they come from, and it's so interesting, the different countries that watch. It's just all over the world. It's just really cool. It's truly amazing. But anyway, I need to do that. But Catherine, yeah, she said that how many days since the last project bought would be funny. She can't count how many times she's had to resist the urge to get another pattern. I get you. I think if you ever found a pattern that you were totally in love with, don't hate me for saying this, guys, I think you should get it. And the reason why I say that is because patterns can come and go. And Sometimes I tell myself, dogs, dogs, be quiet. Sometimes I tell myself, what if tomorrow the internet went down forever and I could never get the internet again? And I would have lost the chance to get that pattern. And it would haunt me. Not losing the internet for the rest of my life wouldn't haunt me, but not being able to get that pattern that I saw online. So that's, I use those little tricks to kind of trick myself into getting things sometimes, but I don't really need tricks. That's just what I do. I'm almost done. I'm almost done. Isabel's Moments with Crafts asked, have I ever used metallic thread like, is it Kreinik? Kreinik? I used them on something a long time ago. It was almost like they were accents. Or did I use it? I would say no. Let's just say that I haven't. Hi Zuzu, you're back again. Nice. I think, Isabel, I think we have you on the list. You do FlossTube as well, but it's more multi-crafting because you show diamond painting along with cross-stitching and quilting. I think I have you, and knitting. I have you on the list. I'm pretty confident I do, and if I don't, I'll go back and double-check that. I'll go double-check that. Laura Tyler likes the idea of having this sign as well. What is my favorite time of day to stitch? Morning, evening, middle of the night, afternoon. Definitely not middle of the night. Middle of the night. I used to be a night owl, but this guy over here goes to bed at roughly the same time, and I've gotten into that as well, so I don't stitch late at night anymore. You almost always, for me, I mean, because I'm working during most days, I'd say, you know, evening is my favorite time to stitch, but when I have the day off, it's just whenever the mood strikes me. I have a lot of different projects going on right now, and so it's just usually like whenever I just feel the moment, feel the mood. So I have to be kind of calm. It has to be quiet. I really like it when there's like weather going on outside. So like if there's a rainstorm or snowstorm, like usually that really entices me to stitch. I gotta start stitching. But I would say that most of the time it's always nighttime when I'm stitching, or mostly it's my nighttime. I wish I could stitch in the morning, like early morning. Like I get up early enough that I could stitch for an hour or so before I go to work, but I can never do it. I think I'm just so keyed up for like, all right, I got to do all these things that's usually when I'll clean or sometimes just go in really early. But I don't stitch early in the morning. Sharon W, my hockey fan, my blues fan friend. Nice. Oh, you like the list too. That's awesome. That is awesome. Oh yeah, by the way, I finished a page on Rainy Waterloo today, so I forgot to mention that. I have a picture on the blog, and so, but I'll be starting a new page here real soon. Cheryl says, don't worry about the birds. Oh. Oh, you didn't have any birds for a while, now you like them. That's good, that's good. Nice. Nice. You like the picture of the mountain in the spiral package just over my left shoulder? Yeah, that is Tower of Babel is what that is. Nice. Nice. I appreciate. Thank you. You're a new subscriber. Thank you for subscribing. Appreciate that. And yes, also I need to thank you guys because I finally went over 4,000 subscribers. Thank you guys. I still remember being excited when I got subscriber number 1. That was a couple of years ago, and it's been a long time and a couple hundred videos at least since then. So thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate that. Oh, cool. Anna B must be another new subscriber as well. So thank you for commenting as well. Oh, hey, Janet. Okay, it's everything's okay, Janet. I got back up. She apologized for the comment. I'm sorry. All right, that's cool. I appreciate that. And I'm sorry that the birds are so loud at times. I really am. I understand what you're saying now. And I get you. Trust me, I get you. Because sometimes they're so loud that I can't talk and think either. That's why sometimes I cover them up on the videos, because they distract me too much. So, I get you. You're all good. Thanks. Thanks for sticking with it. And so I appreciate that, and explaining yourself. So, because it's, yeah, it's a fine line, you know, because it's, you know, if I wore like a microphone or something, or had a microphone, and I could theoretically do that, but it makes it a little harder for recording and audio. But the birds don't have to be as loud as they are. I understand that. Just kind of like the dogs. The dogs don't listen to me, though. Doogie, are you licking the wall? I worry about that boy sometimes. Pretty sure he's licking the wall right now. But thank you, Janet. That was awesome. Oh, gosh, sorry, Anna. I downvoted your comment. Here, let me heart it. Malene, how you doing? Thank you. You have a wonderful stitchy weekend, too. Annie Lume. Annie, didn't I add you to the list? If I haven't, I will add you to the list. Thank you, thank you. Pretty sure I did today. Pretty sure somebody... It's funny how people ask me to add them to a list, and then somebody has already recommended them to be added. So I like that a lot. I think that's really, really cool. David Hopper. Hey, David. It's a guy, guys. How big are Ronnie Rowe patterns? Stitch count. You're asking about stitch count. And I'm thinking about, where is my stitch count thing? You know, it's really hard to have a stitch count for his projects. Again, you know what? We'll take a look at it at the end here, and we'll show you that, and hopefully you'll see this video and see that. And if not, maybe I'll comment and tell you. But I'm trying to remember how big. I want to say, like, is it like 15 by 18? I'm not 100% sure. We'll look and see. Nice. Hey, Deborah Sue. All right, Carolyn. What you got? I thought I was done. I thought I was done, and I'm not. I got like another page. Nice. Everybody's just saying they love Apothecary Shop. Chicago Bears. Oh, Gabriella got a Seattle Seahawks. Nice. From that same site. Boston Needleworks has a lot of those sports patterns. I like it. Patty M. Patty wants to know if the Aida I buy is soft. No, it's not, as you could tell by the honeybee project. But I've got a video on how to soften your Aida. Primarily what it involves is literally just soaking it in water. That's all I gotta do. Soak it in water before you start doing anything with it, and it'll really soften it up a fair bit from that point. But then it's just a matter of using it. And I don't pre-soak mine. I don't pre-soften mine. I love how, as I work more and more on a project, how it softens up on its own. And it's like a rite of passage. Like, this thing is like burlap sack fabric. Wait, is that proper? Or is it softer than burlap? It's probably softer than burlap. But anyway, it's like a rite of passage with every project. When I reach a stage where the fabric is soft, then I know that I've done a lot of work on it. So, you've been watching all day. Did you do a marathon of my videos? My goodness. Oh, and Patty says, "Yay, Red Sox!" Yay, Red Sox! I'm not a big baseball fan, but I love the history of the Red Sox. Nice. Marnie H. Thank you for, nice. You don't have to be intimidated by bigger projects, you know, keep watching the videos. And a lot of people, when they first started watching me, like a couple years ago, I've gotten comments for the last couple of years where people have said, you know, I used to be, excuse me, my throat, I have a frog in there, I gotta unfrog him. People used to say that they were intimidated by the really big projects, but then watching me do them and talking about them gave them some inspiration, some courage for doing it. And I would say that I would take inspiration and courage from those people who had never done a big full coverage cross stitch and then did it. I think it's something that anybody can do. it all boils down to finding the pattern that you want to do. If you ever found a pattern that you absolutely loved and you felt like you had to stitch it, then you got to go for it. It all boils down to stitching what you want to stitch. I mean, no matter what, you just got to stitch what you want to stitch. Danielle, beautiful pattern. You're working on your first aid. It's Mini Waterhole Guardians by Jan Patrick Cransey. What count of Ada am I stitching on with this pattern? Honeybee Portrait, I think we said 16 count. I think it's 16 count, but I'll have to double check that if I can. Oh, nice. Okay. Kelly asks, how can you guys find me on Goodreads? So you can see everything I read. Let me think about that. You know, part of being a FlossTuber and kind of throwing my stuff out there is how public do I want to be? Just, you know, you just never know, you know, people on the internets. And so, but I'll take a look at that because I don't think that would be a big deal. But we'll think about it. Connie G. Barwick. Your channel name is Connie G. Barwick. You know what? I will add you to the list. You need to be added to the list. We will do that. That is awesome. Yay, we're getting over 300. Nice. Dishes and Stitches. Thank you. You're really sweet. Calico, you're on my list. You've been on my list for a week. Of course you're on my list, fellow Coloradoan. You're on my list. Anna's thanking me, or congratulating me on my 4,000 subscribers. Nice. Googled Old War Map 2 and clicked on the pictures and my channel showed up. Maybe on social media, I might be the only one doing it. Maybe on social media, I gotta think that there's some other crazy people in the world doing that particular pattern. Cynthia, thank you, Cynthia. You're very sweet. Cynthia V, I'm gonna have to respond back to you. Link is my homeboy. Yeah, I know, I saw you today. You commented down below, but I got that. Thank you so much for all your comments and your suggestions. Nice. Thank you so much. That is awesome. Guys, go check out Link is my homeboy. She does some very interesting pieces. Debbie D, Debbie with a Y. I don't always, sometimes I mess up and I say people's last names and I don't know if people want their last names to be said or not, so I try to say first name and an initial of their last name. So Debbie with a Y, D, who just commented within the last day. Hello, Zuzu. Zuzu wants me to show you guys her rawhide. Here is her rawhide. These are the kinds that we give to the dogs. These and some of the roll-up ones. She loves this. Right? You want it? There you go. She's very gentle sometimes. Anyway, Debbie with a D. You stitch in hand. Nice. Oh, wow. You're doing a huge full coverage project that is a photo to a pattern, and it's huge. It's going to take a while. Your goal is to finish it in 7 months. Not going to happen. That's funny. Well, one can dream. Thanks. Appreciate that. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. I'm at the end. Cindy's Life in Stitches is thanking me for adding her to the list. So thank you, Cindy's Life in Stitches, for having a FlossTube channel. You're slowly building up your channel. Guys, go check her out. She's on my list. Laura Green, did you look at my list? You looked at my list, didn't you? 300 people? Yes. Yes. Hibernation Stitcher's on there too, and she commented. Nice. Found loads of people that you've never heard of. I know, right? I didn't know there were that many around. It's amazing. Cheryl Taylor. See, I just did it by mistake. Cheryl T. No, I wasn't going to mention. Man, that'd be too much work to have the channel and then list next to it like what they specialize in. No, that is way too much work. It's already way too much. Well, it's not way too much work, but it's already been a lot of work, many hours putting that list together. So I'm only marking them if they're new to the list in the last week with an exclamation point, or if they have less than 1,000 subscribers, they get an asterisk. So, good. We're good. Guys, I think we're good. I think we're done. I think we're done. Let me refresh the list and see if there's anybody else. Is there anybody else? Oh, it just gets automatically added, doesn't it? Oh, no, wait. There's a few more. Nice. Hibernation Stitcher. You stitched on Seize the Day with SEAS by Caterpillar Cross Stitch. Nice. That's awesome. Tamara Bowen's on the list, and she says thank you. Tamara Bowen is so close to 1,000 subscribers, guys. She's on my list. Go check it out. Angela S. Doing my girlfriend's cross stitch. One does, but she doesn't really do it anymore. She's the one who taught me how to cross stitch many years ago. But other than that, I'm the only cross stitcher I know. Like in my circle. My circle. And so, thank you, Nanette. Stitch to Stash. You were surprised to see yourself on the list. Do you know why you were put on the list? Because one of your subscribers told me to. So that's usually how it happens, because it's hard to search. Like, YouTube just will not show people like 500 FlossTube videos. They show 500 FlossTube videos from like 20 people, and that's all they'll show you. And forget if you want to look for other people. It's so hard to find new people when you're pigeonholed by YouTube. YouTube, get your act together, man. Alright, that's it. I got some people added to the list. This is a really long video, and I'm tired. It's time for dinner, and I gotta get this up. I'm not sure if it's gonna get up tonight. If not tonight, it will be up in the morning. So, take care, guys. I'm glad I got this done. Hope you guys had a good time, and I will see you very soon. Take care. Bye-bye. Alright, guys. So, like I said, here is a Ronnie Rowe. This is Music Teacher's House, the first one I did. And I gotta get close to the stitching here, but can you see any of the... Can't really see it, can you? At least I can't. That blue thing is just a reflection from the kitchen light. I don't know why it always does that, but it does. But I don't see... Maybe a little smidge, but it doesn't really show up, especially when you step back and you're kind of looking at it the way it's supposed to be looked at. But there we go.